All righty, it is 7:02 p.m. and I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Boxborough Select Board meeting. It is Monday, September 23rd, 2024. And as is our custom, I'd like to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. All right, so the first thing we'll do is public input. Does anybody have any input to offer? I don't see any hands. All righty. Then we're going to move right on to appointments. And the first one is Jennifer, is it Reckamp?
She's online.
Jennifer, how do I say your name correctly?
Ray Camp.
Did I even say that as an option? Well, nice to meet you. I'm looking at the thing here. So tell us a little bit about yourself. We're excited to have you join us as a volunteer.
Thank you. Yeah, so my family and I moved to Boxborough in April from Washington, D.C. My partner is a government consultant, and he has a project that he's working on that's at Hanscom, so we needed to be within about a 60-mile radius.
Yep.
We have a 10-year-old son that is at Blanchard. He's in 5th grade.
How's he doing? Does he like it?
He's doing all right. He started a little bit at the end of last year, so we met some folks, and some of the kiddos that he friended are in his class this year, so he's doing really well.
Oh, that was smart of you guys to move at the end of the school year for that reason. Way to go. So, all right, so he's at Blanchard in 5th grade.
Yeah. And so I work remotely. My offices are based still outside of DC, but I work for the Association of Children's Museums. So children's museums are our members, and Discovery Museum in Acton right next door, one of their leadership folks are on our board. So I've already been there and been talking to people. So I'm actually originally from Massachusetts. I just haven't lived in the state for like 20 years. I grew up down closer to Cape Cod in a small town called Rochester.
Oh, okay. Is that South Shore?
It's further south. Yeah, South Shore.
Near Wareham, Marion.
This is our Cape Man here. It's near Wareham. I've been lost in Wareham before.
Rochester.
Oh, yeah.
So you know where Rochester is.
There's a Rochester.
Marion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Near Marion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now see, we all know where
Marion,
you're from.
yeah, I've got a Marion, my brother-in-law. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So, all right, so you're already connected to this Discovery Museum. That is one of our local treasures. I mean, children love going, adults love going. That's wonderful. So are you on their board also, or you're?
No, so they're basically like head educator is on our board. So, and our board consists of folks from children's museums globally, actually. So she's one of our members, and actually our executive director is going to be in town next week, and so he's going to visit the museum. So we're going to see them and talk with their board.
Awesome. Well, that's wonderful. Well, we really, really appreciate you joining. I always ask people, I asked you that question instead of saying, what do you love about Boxborough? Because you are still learning all the things you love about Boxborough.
Absolutely. Although I do love we live kind of on Osceola Drive. And so there's a ton of like trails and conservation land around us, and we've already been exploring. It's actually one of my favorite things to do. So.
No, that's a great section of town. That's a pretty house too. My son's best friend, Max, grew up in that house. So you got a good house.
Nice. Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So does anybody have any questions or words of welcome?
Welcome.
I'm the yapper on the board if you haven't figured that out. I'm the yapper.
We're happy to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if there's anything we can do as the select board, I hope you'll reach out to Mike and Kelly. I mean, honestly, we're here for to help any way we can.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah. Welcome.
All right.
I would like to do the honors and move to appoint Jennifer Recamp to the Acton Boxborough Cultural Council with a term ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
All right. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
You're in. Thank you so much. And don't feel like you have to stay on and watch to be polite. We totally get it. Go back to your family and your life. It's all good.
We'll charge you later.
Thanks again. Good night.
Good night.
All right. Next up is introducing our new Human Services Director. Mike, do you want to take it away?
Yes. So Kimberly D has been working with us for nearly 4 years as a Council on Aging coordinator. She competed internally for this position, which is newly created and approved at town meeting for an internal promotion. And we had a rather gruesome, or I should say grueling, excuse me, rather.
I'm like, well, Halloween is coming.
No, it wasn't gruesome.
Halloween is coming. Yeah.
We had a rather grueling assessment recruitment process set up, and the two candidates who competed for it did very well. And I'm proud this evening to present Kimberly D as a new, actually as Boxborough's very first Human Services Director. And so with no further ado, Kim is with us via Zoom.
Hey, Kim. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So I'm sure Mike already prepped you. So tell us a little bit about what you're hoping. Well, you know, it's only kind. Tell us what you're hoping to accomplish in the next year. We'd love to hear your thoughts and plans.
Well, the first step is our reorganization of the town hall. I'm sure you have had a chance to look at the new configuration for Morse Hillberg.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ms. Hillberg.
Yeah, Warren and Harry are now like holding hands in the middle of the room. Yep.
So with Mike's approval, we're moving all the human services departments up to the second floor. And that, I think, will give us a chance to feel more of a team than has been previously. And doing so, I hope to bring each department together on a regular basis to inform each other of where we're at, what kinds of challenges we're facing, and any successes. One in the Human Services Department right now is Boxborough Connects, and that's still up in the air as far as MART is concerned. Mm-hmm. The ridership increased over the last month or two, and they were pleased with that, but they want a little more ridership to make it worth their while. Okay. And that has been proposed, that adding stops at Danny's Place. Mm-hmm. And the schools are going to hopefully increase the ridership for children with their after-school programs at Danny's Place, being our hope, and we shall see how that plays out and hopefully be able to keep this program going.
That's a great idea. So kids can ride without parents?
Over the age of 10,
okay.
They can ride without parents. Under the age of 10, they have to have an older sibling or an adult with them. That's
great. So I'm assuming you've got some kind of something up at Danny's Place so the kids know and you're reaching out that way?
Both Alec, our town planner, Alec went to Danny's Place for their open house. I think it was Tuesday, and Amy went on Thursday.
Awesome. To
represent the town and the Boxborough Connects program and distributed flyers. And I believe they're going to also distribute free one-way tickets so that the price is $1 each way, mm-hmm. and they'll get half price on a round trip. Sounds good, right?
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah.
To entice people to use the program and see where that goes.
Great. Okay, well, as always, if there's anything that we can all do to support that, please reach out, because it's a great program and absolutely want to see that continue.
Yes, we do too. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Okay, Kim, what do you love best about Boxborough?
The people. What else are we going to
Well,
say?
as the human services person, I suppose. All right, what's your second favorite thing?
Well, to tell you the truth, I have not met a lot of the younger residents of Boxborough, especially the youth. Being in the position that I've been in for the last 4 years for Council on Aging, that has been my focus. So I really am looking forward to meeting more of our residents. Of course, I see the traffic coming in and out of Town Hall, but it's a different thing when you're working with trying to help them deal with different situations. And
Sure.
even in the veteran services, there are a wide age group there. So looking forward to meeting more of the town's people. And as far as other things that I love about Boxborough, I come from West Townsend, which is a very small little village, if you will, of
Yeah.
Townsend, Mass. And I just really enjoy the small town feel of Boxborough, as it is a small town, and that's where I come from, so I feel very at home here.
Oh, that's wonderful. Is that on the Ashby side or the Lancaster side?
Ashby side.
Ashby side. So you're near the state forest, or were near the state forest out there?
Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, we have
Yeah.
all of our conservation land, so yeah. Does anybody have any questions or anything for Kim?
I don't have any questions. I just would say she does a terrific job with the Council on Aging, and I've been working with her and the other Council on Aging folks for, wow, over a year now. And
Yeah.
Kim is a pleasure to work with.
All right.
The lunches are good.
And the lunches are good. We have lasagna.
Thank
Was it
you.
lasagna?
The last one was.
The last one was. All right. All right. And Bob, so will you possibly be seeing kids going back and forth to Danny's place?
Yeah,
Well,
we're, as Kim already mentioned, Danny's Place is on it, but there really hasn't been a lot of volume coming out of Danny's Place because this one, we started it when school was ending, and so it wasn't really known, and two of the kids were in school during the summer. So now with the help of Alec and Amy, that they'll be advertising it and getting more involved with it. And as Kim mentioned, they're going to be reshuffling the schedule to accommodate the middle school and the high school kid as well. So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be really good. Yeah.
So if my daughter went to Danny's place and she wanted to get a ride back to Boxborough, where would she be dropped off?
Probably the town hall for you, probably the closest. We would pick them right up at Danny's place.
Of course.
But there are scheduled stops right now. We don't go to individual homes right now. It's more of a common place where children could be dropped off. And we can accommodate that if we find there's more, and we're talking about the whole aspect of Liberty Square Road, because right now we're not really servicing a lot of Liberty Square Road. We're stopping at the beginning of it, but we're not really going up. So Alec is working, trying to figure out a new schedule, with tweaking the schedule a little bit. So it's more to come on that.
That's exciting. Yeah, maybe if it's even like at the end of Reed Farm and the end of Emmanuel, like maybe you try to hit the neighborhoods
Yeah.
and create stops, if it's possible. I'm just super excited that we're offering this at all. I think it's great.
And as Kim mentioned, it's been growing, and the people who are riding it now really like it a lot. Some of the big stops are the Roach Brothers Plaza, the MBTA train stop, and then we can actually go to CVS, and we can go to the Acton Medical Associates as well. So
Oh, good.
That's
yeah.
nice.
So it really does, and people are very, very appreciative of it. I mean, as opposed to parking, and just a quick one, I apologize for time, as opposed to parking at the West Acton train stop, which is $10, $20, $15.
Is it really? Oh, lordy. Okay.
Just to park.
Really?
Never mind the $26 ticket
Yeah.
on the thing, but just to park, it's like $10 at the end. It's $1 to drive, so you don't spend the gas, and you get a nice friendly driver driving you to the door.
A nice friendly driver. That's
A
key right
nice,
there.
friendly driver.
Well, I know everybody's in good hands with you. All right. Okay, anything else?
No, welcome.
Yeah. All right, well, I would like to entertain a motion. Someone want to read?
No, I don't think this is just an intro.
just-
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
appointing you. You're just introducing. Never mind. You're in like Flint. Okay. Thanks, Kim, and thanks for
Okay.
coming
Okay, there we
tonight.
go.
Thank you very
Kim.
much. I
All right.
appreciate
Thank you.
all you do for the town. Thank you.
Absolutely. This
Good
is
night.
a good group.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Night.
Good night.
So, alrighty, moving right along to new business. We're going to be voting to consider reducing the in-person early voting hours for the state election.
I don't have any information other than additional to what's on page 3 of your packet. So this is the typical thing that comes through each time. The state has, allowed many options to have additional, there's early voting, there's absentee voting, there's, your regular voting. And this is a request that the town clerk has made several times before to reduce it just to the hours the town hall is open, I believe, other than what they list here.
Saturday, yeah, that's Saturday.
Saturday from 1 to 5 on October 19th.
Sure.
Kristen, I have a comment on this one. This is a very important election, and I think every election is important, but just given that most of the early voting hours are not conducive for people who work. It's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Is there at least a couple of days during the week of the October 21st and the 24th and then the 28th to 31st that we could do it 2 to 6 instead of 11 to 2? Is that even feasible? Just asking. I mean,
Sure. No, actually,
know,
you're right. It's missing evening hours.
Because we want to encourage people to be
Of
able
course.
to have all their options, right? Like, yeah.
And Mike, this is in addition to the regular voting day, which would be the following Tuesday.
Correct.
Yeah, it'll be in addition to November 5th, but like, yeah.
And the mail-in voting,
Yes.
and
Yes,
the
yes.
absentee ballots. So there's 4 ways to.
So are you concerned
To
that
vote.
the Saturday 1 to 5 doesn't cover the people that can't get here during the week?
Yeah, it's just one day, because Saturday, again, if they're working and they have kids, they have other things that they're doing with the kids too. So we just have to make it more easier for people to be able to vote. So I'm not thinking that we should do it every day, but like at least couple days in each of those weeks, if it's feasible, if we can look into it, instead of 11 to 2, 2 to 6. So, I mean, that might be
So I can
easy.
certainly look into it. I can check with Liz, who's filling in as our town clerk. She's actually away with travel right now, which is why she can't join us this evening. So I can certainly look into that. That, of course, will be her coordinating with the election workers to see if that's possible to staff the voting tables up here and the check-in and check-out. But I just want to point out, and I'm not trying to put pressure one way or another, but the vote, if you're going to reduce the hours at all, has to be at this meeting, because the deadline for doing this is September 30th by law.
All right.
All right, so I think what I would, Mike, if you could just, what my proposal would be, just change, if they could change one of the dates from 11 to 2 to 2 to 6. So to keep it still the same, but keep, just shift the hours.
Yep.
And it would still be reduced, so we can vote on that tonight, it would still be reduced, but the hours would be the 2 to 6 as Priya suggested. That would
So
be-
I'm actually going to change that a little bit. I'm going to suggest that, I'm sure we have a meeting on the 21st or 28th, and I would actually suggest we do it like 6 to 8, because if people are trying to get home from work, we're not really helping them out.
Yeah,
Unless, because
that'll
we're
be
going to be
even
here
better.
also, so the
Also,
election worker wouldn't be
I think
I think you
alone.
have to pay them for a minimum of 3 hours though, because it's,
Okay,
So the-
then 5 to 7,
5 to 8.
5 to
5 to
8.
8, sorry. 5 to 7 is still not 3.
Yeah, 5 to 8.
Maybe 5 to 8.
Yeah.
And then the nice thing is people won't feel like they're coming to a dark town hall. The election workers would feel safe, and we'll, I mean, that's my that's my thought.
Yeah, I mean, that would be even better.
So we could, which night, yeah?
Oh, we have an election worker right here who might be able to help us out.
Well, I just want to tell you, Liz has already sent out the schedule. I mean, I don't think it'd be a big deal to change it, because I think she had more people who wanted to work than she had spaces
I
for.
wasn't invited. I told her I wanted to work this election.
Oh, well, too bad, so
I'm a
sad.
Republican, damn it, you need me.
Anyway, she's already done that, but I mean, maybe could you, instead of cutting back, could you like keep all these and then add like a Monday night from 5 to 8 in addition to it?
Sure, that's fine with me, as long as we've got the budget for it. FinCom.
Sure.
All right, then,
So-
Kelly, what's our next what's our meeting in October, the 21st or the 28th? It's gotta be one of them.
In October,
And the 28th? We would have two. I don't have that. I don't have that. That is not today's problem, so I couldn't tell you. I'm just thinking line it up when we're here.
Yes, 16th and 28th.
All right, so why don't we add 5 to 8 p.m. on Monday, October 28th?
But wait, Kristen, wait, how are you gonna do that? If we're here,
We don't.
They
we
can
don't-
do
we're
it
not
in
running
We
the
don't have
election.
anything to do with it. I'm just saying that the town hall will be lit up, there's
Yeah.
people
We're
here.
not running the
okay,
election.
so we would meet over there.
Yeah.
Normally, they vote over there.
Oh, for early
And more
voting.
so,
Early
yeah.
voting is
Yeah,
over
early
there.
voting-
Yeah,
moved
early
the-
voting's over
We
there.
moved the early voting here this year just because we had the construction going on over there. So,
Oh, okay.
so I think it'd be fine to have the
All right,
voting
so-
over there,
so
if
select
it's
board on
okay with the
20
town
So
clerk.
select board would meet here on the 28th, and the early voting would be over there.
Mm-hmm.
On the 28th. Okay.
So, so I have a different outlook on this than I think most people here. I think the recommendation by the, what is,
Town clerk.
she's the assistant town clerk. I think it's based on what she knows of the numbers of people that show up for early voting. I think to add different hours and additional expenses as, I don't think it's worth it. I think I'm in favor of going with her recommendation, because we went up with Becky's recommendation. It was, I think, a vote of 4-1 last time. We went in favor of Becky's recommendation. This is for the main election. There are 4 ways for people to vote. So I don't really, and of course, no one is here from the office, clerk's office, to say, well, this is the numbers of people, but the numbers of people are really small.
But
You know.
maybe it's small, Dave, because they don't have this option, right? Like maybe if it's 11 to 2, I mean, even if you tell me that you can go vote, I won't be able to. If I'm working, I'm not going to be able to.
No,
Even
no.
if I have the intentions to come and vote early, I'm not
Sure.
going to
But
be
you-
able to.
But you get the card from the Secretary of
Absolutely.
State saying you can vote by mail. and
Absolutely,
it's like-
yeah.
But a lot of people don't trust that. I've had a phenomenal
also-
number of people tell me they don't trust that.
Yeah.
Vote by mail is actually more expensive than early voting. Or that's what she had said previously, because they have to go through, open them up, and then
Oh.
count them in that stuff. Like, there's more of a headache than just.
Oh,
picking-
it's a huge headache, and I'm well aware of that, but I'm in favor of the recommendation, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm a minority here.
Kristen, I actually liked your original recommendation, where you said like couple days where we just switch it instead of
Instead of
11
adding
to
it.
2. I think it might be easier. So that way we are not adding additional hours that it's going to affect our budget.
I mean, I'm for adding additional hours. I'm never really for restricting voting access, but that's just me.
Well, no, I was gonna say, in West, yeah, exactly, I
Yeah.
remember that. Okay, so then I'm gonna suggest so that I totally understand that somebody signed up Monday, October 28th to work 11 to 2, but I'm gonna suggest that Monday, the 28th, we do 5 to 8, and then Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 2. So we're not costing any additional money. I have to believe somebody will switch. Becky, you can do Monday night instead of being here.
Sure.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then
my God, what else do we want, you
about
guys?
the-
Quick,
what
Becky
about
said
the
sure twice, we get
Monday,
one more.
October 21st.
What's that?
What about the Monday, October 21st?
Oh, we'll leave that
prior-
one.
the,
Yeah, well, I thought we would
One
just.
day there too. if
You
we
wanna
can.
do-
Yeah,
You want to do 5 to 8, the 21st too?
yeah,
Oh, sorry, so both Mondays
yeah.
are gonna be 5 to 8.
Yeah.
Jeff, you may not have a meeting in this room, and you might have somebody here alone. I just worry about you having somebody here alone.
Me too. Maybe, all right. No, that was my thought too.
Come sit with whoever it is.
Nobody, are there, Kelly, can you look on the town calendar and see if there are any other meetings on Monday, October 21st? Because,
Not Zoom meetings, presumably.
what's that?
Not
Right,
Zoom.
not people that are Zoomers. Well, we could also, see, that would be good for consistency to have it both Mondays. Yeah, I wouldn't love sitting here in the dark by myself personally. Just saying. And not knowing who's coming up the stairs with no one to be there
No,
with me.
that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, that makes, I just know it would make me nervous.
Yeah. Maybe, it doesn't have to be Monday if there's nothing on Monday. So we
Right.
could do it like Tuesday, Wednesday, or, yeah, Tuesday. Are you guys meeting?
I was just gonna say, when's FinCom here? I don't know, I know, you're like me, I don't know, that's
The
October.
The first and third Tuesdays.
First and third, okay, hold on.
Oh, that would be the 3rd Tuesday, I think. It does make it harder because it's not consistent.
No, that won't be, that'll be the 4th.
Oh,
Oh. Maybe we could do the,
Monday the 21st in here.
there's nobody? How about the 22nd?
Nobody.
usually Tuesdays, no one.
Tuesday,
The first and third Tuesday of FinCom, but I mean, and they won't get posted until like
But that would be the,
but they typically are in the calendar. there's nothing in the calendar.
well,
now.
the third would be the 18th, Kelly.
Oh,
Kristen, I'm sure
Not the 18th,
the,
I'm sorry, the 15th.
the building committee meets on the 4th, right? The
The second and fourth Thursdays.
second and 4th, so that'll fall on October 24th. We could do that day.
okay.
The building committee will be
Yep.
here.
I'm fine with that. I support 2 evening hours. I just think that's important.
Look at that, I'm working early voting 24th.
Oh, good. Are you willing to do 5 to 8 instead?
Thank
Sure.
you.
I'm getting so many
Thank
shares. This is
you.
the best day ever. All right, seriously, we have
Becky.
to ask for something, you guys. Mike, what do you need? What do you need, Mike?
What I need is, I need to, whatever, well, now that you're asking, pepperoni pizza would be nice. But in addition to that, whatever you agree to that you would like to do, I would want to go back and run it past the town clerk.
Clerk,
Because
yes.
they're the one that has to coordinate
Yeah.
everything, set it up, and make sure they're election workers to do. So I would
But it has
take,
to be voted
We
by
have
the
Becky.
30th, and we're not going to be here.
no,
lined
what I'm
up.
saying is you could vote it now,
Oh.
but what you're voting for is to reduce the hours. But as far as changing the hours,
Yeah.
that's something just internally, I just gotta work with the town clerk to do.
Okay.
Because that's more of a administrative task that, I
Yeah.
wouldn't wanna change things on her without her having any knowledge of it.
So all we're gonna vote is just to reduce the hours down to some,
Yeah,
to these amount of hours here. Okay.
Well, we have to read it all out. I move to reduce early voting hours. All right, well, why don't I just do that? All right. I move to reduce early voting hours for the 2024 state elections to Saturday, October 19th, at the town hall from 1 to 5 p.m. Monday, October 21st, through Wednesday, October 23rd, at the town hall from 11 to 2 p.m. Thursday, October 24th, at the town hall from 5 to 8 p.m. Saturday, October 26th, at the town hall from 1 to 5 p.m. Monday, October 28th, at the town hall from 5 to 8 p.m. Tuesday, October 29th, through Thursday, October 31st, at the town hall from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Is there a second?
second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah,
That's okay. Well, no, I just figured I may as well read it and we can keep discussing it.
so with what you just read, it's actually adding hours.
No,
No.
So
no,
Monday
it's
was
actually
swapped.
2 hours actually less if you look at it.
Okay,
We are doing
Okay.
2 hours less because it's 5 to 8. It's only 3 hours as opposed to 11 to 2 will be 4. So there's one day.
No,
11 to
11
2 is 3.
Oh, 11.
It should be the same hours.
Bad math. Sorry. Yeah, same hours then.
Wes, are you shaking
Okay.
your head down there?
I didn't say anything.
He probably is. Yeah.
So,
So same.
all right,
hours.
so again, understanding that the town clerk has to staff this, it sounds like we might have one volunteer. If for some reason she can't get the 28th, one of us will do it. We'll figure it out. Oh, all right, any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Oh, actually, anybody from the Zoom? I don't see any hands up.
I think we only have a few people.
Yeah, it's a boring meeting tonight. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? All right. Let us know what Liz says. Hopefully she can accommodate. And please let her know this was done with all good intentions and friendliness.
Okay, very good.
All right, action. Fire Station Building Committee Financial Procedures. Priya, do you want to walk us through this?
Mike will be.
Oh, Mike will be
better.
doing it. That's
Yeah.
fine too.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll read it. So, what the Fire Station Building Committee came up with for financial procedures is from now up through the point where construction funding is voted. So the procedures are pretty simple and straightforward for now. They're going to get much more complex once we move into the construction phase. So there are 3 parts to this, and I'll read them. So invoices, all invoices for payment will be presented by Vertex, who's the OPM, to the committee, the Fire Station Building Committee, for vote before payment is made throughout the project. 2, contracts, addendums, and scope of work. These should be presented by Vertex to the committee for a recommendation as they come up. However, awarding and signing of contracts shall reside with the Chief Procurement Officer. And 3, upon successful votes for construction funding, the committee should revisit these financial procedures within 30 days to determine change order procedures.
That seems very, very reasonable. Priya, how, is the board unanimous on this? Or the
It was
committee?
unanimous.
6-0.
What's that?
6-0. It was 6-0.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's at the bottom. It was small and I never read the footer.
Except I have
All
one.
right, shame on
I have
me.
one-
Didn't
I
read
have
the
one
footer.
wrong word on the very last line. Instead of financial policies, that should say financial procedures. But otherwise, that's correct.
Okay. Any further discussion? Anybody from the floor? From the public? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay. All right, Fire Station Building Committee, way to go. You're moving right along.
And they have their next meeting this Thursday.
Okay. Have we received any bills yet?
No.
No. It's good to be ahead of it.
And we only have one person under contract, and that's the OPM Vertex.
Right.
And then we expect in the next several weeks to have the architect under contract, but that's still being negotiated.
All right, sounds good. I look forward to those updates. Okay, next, electronic signal request at 502 and 520 Mass Ave crosswalks. Bob, I think this is your baby, right?
Yeah, this one was mine, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was approached by one family and then a second family, a wife and then a husband on the second day. They were wondering if we could, if the town could reach out to the state on 502 on Mass Ave to put up traffic signals. So we have 2 crosswalks right now that are basically, I'll use the word, in front of the school. So what we would be I'm asking the state to do is put up actual traffic signals. The one light that if you've driven through West Acton Center, right there in front, they push a button and the lights flash.
Yeah.
So that's what they're asking, that we put that we put there.
Just
And-
like in the trails too, even in the,
Correct, yes.
Freeman
The
Trails,
Freeman
yeah.
Trail over there on
Yeah.
Concord Road,
Yep.
in Acton, yes, exactly, same thing. So there would be a button there that would be low enough for the one handicap, 2 children and adults, and for the purpose of flashing the lights. Because they're saying that while there are crossing guards there when the schools is starting session and when the kids are coming home, other times there could be parents, and there have been parents, and there have been some kids standing in the crosswalks, and for whatever reason, people are not seeing them standing in the crosswalks, and they have to wait for the cars to go by, or or risking it that someone sees them. This way, it'll just be a higher alert to the drivers. All of a sudden, this light's gonna flash in front of them, and they're gonna realize somebody's in the crosswalk. And so what I was proposing, that this board would approve, that the town take the next steps to get with the state to install the two flashing lights. One that's basically in front of the police station, and the other one that's down in front of the fire station, because the crosswalks are already there, people are using them. And what I'm suggesting is that we just put the push buttons, lights there, so everybody could use them.
Who pays?
State road.
oh, there is an option?
Mass DOT.
Mass DOT.
Well, I mean, we pay for it just through state taxes.
Well, state taxes,
Yeah.
right, yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
The state will pay for our lights.
Yeah,
Exactly right, exactly, yeah.
Okay. What are everybody's thoughts?
I think it's.
100%
Yeah,
favor for me.
it's a good
I
thing.
mean-
Mike, is there any issues you see?
Not
Big
issues,
Western.
it's more of a timing thing. So earlier this year, Kelly actually brought to my attention that, in walking her children to school, maybe it was a year ago, that the crosswalks were faded and it was tough getting across. So that's not something that we can, easy enough for us to go do, but we can't do it because it's a state road. So Ed Kukla, our DPW director, reached out to the state, and it did take, in fact, it may have been closer to 2 years ago.
No, you did it.
and-
Somebody did it. It took a long time.
And that's the thing, it's timing, so while the expense wouldn't be on us, we're working on their approvals, and so a vote tonight would be a recommendation,
To
but the
request.
approval would come at the state level, and then would be at their time. Something like this is, obviously a lot more expensive than painting crosswalks, but it's certainly something that, in the name of safety, maybe we want
Yeah, I
to
mean,
think about.
school, I think we should emphasize that, like
Yeah.
school, kids.
And parents who.
Parents, yeah.
Anyone who wants to cross Mass Ave, just to use the playground, even on the Saturday or Sunday, if they want to cross Mass Ave with their children, to use the playground at the school, I'm assuming they can, Adam, yes, they can.
We're not encouraging bad behavior. Yes.
So, yeah, exactly, so I think it's a good idea to have it there. In addition, like I said, the police are there, and we could get a crossing guard there, but that's, again, beginning of school and end of school. But what about Saturday, Sunday? What about at 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
Adam,
Hi, guys. I totally support this. I think if you draft a letter and you send it to the state, if you copy us on that letter, I'll bring it in front of the school committee and we'll follow along. I think there's no bad reason to do it.
Great, thanks, Adam.
Wes, you would,
Yeah, so the main concern usually for those types of signals is like pedestrian, like the houses getting annoyed by having that, but we don't have those houses there, so it shouldn't be an issue, I don't think, from the state's perspective,
okay,
outside of the monetary.
right. Yeah, my only thought was, I definitely think it needs to be a 520 where the police station is, because for whatever reason, that's kind of blind right there. You come up over the little hill, and there are a lot,
Well, I thought
I
around
drive
the
my
curve by
grandkids
the
to school.
library.
What's that?
I was
I thought
thinking-
the curve by the library
I was
was
thinking-
worse because you're literally coming around a curve.
Yeah, I don't know why, to Bob's point, because I drive the grandkids to school, for some reason, I don't see people standing
Right.
on that side as well as I see them down by the fire station.
Well, if you're
That
coming
could just
from
be
one-
me.
It might be the way you're coming.
Yeah, exactly, because I'm coming from Hill Road. All right, well, all right, so let's, so we're actually moving that you pursue electronic signals, and,
A request from the state, yeah.
yeah,
So-
yeah, that you request yeah, so instead of, you want to use the word request instead of pursue?
Either way.
Yeah, let's use pursue.
You
No,
know,
let's use
Didn't
request.
Alex work on this with the Safe Streets effort that he was putting together?
He may have discussed it some, he probably has, but knowing that these are a long lead time item, as soon as Bob, raised, this to me, I reached out to Ed Kukla the same day, and he reached out to Mass DOT that same day and said, we're gonna be coming to you with a request, and this is what it'll be, both of these crosswalks, maybe one of them, whatever, and then we'll be waiting for, I'll draft a letter, depending on what your vote is, and send it, and we'll copy the school, and then he can forward that to Mass DOT, who already knows something's coming.
Okay, perfect. All right, then I move that the town administrator's office pursue electronic signals at the crosswalks of 502 and 520 Mass Ave with Mass DOT, and that the school committee be copied on all correspondence.
Second.
Any further discussion from anybody?
I would just like to ask about the intersection right out here. If there's anybody on this side, there's no sidewalk on this side of the street, so anybody who's going down, who might be walking to school or taking a bike or even walking across from the other condos, that intersection is tough to do as well, so.
Yeah, but you
If-
have the residential buildings right there, so that you might get some pushback from the people in those apartments right across the street.
They don't like the flashing lights.
Yeah, they would push back on that,
I would if I was living there.
yeah.
Do you really want, because at night, do you really want the flashing into your window?
But they would only flash when somebody hits the thing to walk across the street. Nobody's walking across the street late at night.
Oh, it'd be like
right?
the one in West Acton, where you have to push the button and it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm just
Same
clarifying.
thing, right? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I would push back if I was living there, but I've also lived in the city where you get a lot of lights and stuff, and it's annoying.
Mike, from a strategy perspective, I mean, I would rather ask for all three, I think, and get what we can get out of it, I suppose. If you want to add, what are your thoughts at middle
If
road?
you do that, I would suggest maybe prioritizing, because I'm picturing the state saying, wait a minute, we're gonna put, within a quarter mile, we're gonna put
That's
3
what I was
flashing
gonna-
lights. I can picture them saying, well, we'll give you
Close
one.
together.
Pick your poison.
And I think if that were the case, I think that it would be better that the town prioritize it than the state.
Yeah.
And the other thing, just to prioritize, in a matter of priority, where the crosswalks are, there's already electricity there. So it'd be, it wouldn't, they wouldn't have to run some way, but not a lot of way. I don't think there's any electricity running up in this sidewalk that they'd have to tap into. So, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Right.
I just, see people trying to cross that.
No, I agree
Cross
with
that
you, yeah, I agree
street,
with you.
you know, and it's
I'm
like,
just
yeah.
thinking as far as what, to
Yeah.
what Mike is saying, what the state said, okay, we've already got electricity, we don't have to worry about it, we can put those two up. Now we gotta run electricity up there, we gotta put a little electricity there.
No,
That might
I
be-
mean, the issue also, it becomes I don't know if they're looking into the traffic piece too. Like, I mean, there's one, and then like even before you could like pick up, there's another one, and then a third. So it's
Well,
within a
if-
short
yeah,
period,
no,
I
you-
mean, short distance.
No,
I
you,
think,
and you
right?
bring up a good point, and I think to Wes's point, is the state gonna say, as opposed to putting a yellow flashing light there, are they gonna put a real traffic light there? Because it is an intersection.
We're not asking for a traffic
Well,
light.
yeah, but you lose control once you ask.
Oh,
If they
Yeah,
do a traffic study and decide that that's in the, like according to the new standards.
that's the
what
last
you're
thing I
gonna
really
get.
want there, is a traffic light.
all right.
But I don't know what the state would do. I don't know what the
I
state-
think then if that's the case, then if we have to prioritize, I say then let's prioritize the one by the school at least, for the beginning.
Yeah, well, or maybe
And
just,
then-
maybe the
Yeah.
two by the school, because
Yeah.
we're really,
Yeah.
we're primarily interested in the kids' safety.
Kids'
Yeah.
safety,
Right,
yeah.
but I'm also talking about the safety
Yeah.
for kids who are gonna cross
There's
the
actually a
street to
couple of
get to
kids that
that
walk
sidewalk.
and ride their bikes up Middle Road. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen them,
So I
yeah.
mean, the other thing is depending on where the fire station goes, the state may
It could
put,
be putting one there
they may
anyways.
put things there, so that way, depending on which way the fire or ambulance is going, they may stop traffic.
So that may, yeah, depending
That
on
may
how
be out
much,
of
all
our
right.
hands.
And I'm just, okay, so I have to do it with my body. So, all right, Mass Ave, I'm the school. You've got the sidewalk that comes here and the sidewalk that comes here, right? I think this one is more important because if you're coming this way and you want to cross the street, you can go up into the parking lot and across versus prioritizing this one because then the kids coming from Boxborough Meadows, because let's be honest, there's more people walking from Boxborough Meadows that have to go this way
Yeah.
than people coming from Liberty Square that have to go
No.
this way.
This way, that's
I'm like, you got me? You got me? So
Well,
if we
Liberty
have to
Square has
prioritize,
the sidewalk all the way to Liberty Square, it's just crossing, yeah.
right. Well, no, but we were talking about if we needed, like, there are gonna be fewer people that have to cross over to the, I mean, I get parents park over there. I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
They
from
do,
a
and that's what-
pedestrian perspective, I feel like this one is more important.
Because when the parking lot fills up, they park temporarily in
Yeah.
the fire station and cross that crosswalk.
So the crosswalk closer to Middle Road.
Is
the
the
one
one
I
I think is more important for the weekend.
Yeah, that's more.
All right, okay,
Sure.
if they say 520 is our priority, but why don't we just ask for both, and then if they
Right.
ask
Yeah.
us to prioritize, we will.
Sounds good.
Okay. It's been moved, it's been seconded, are we ready to vote? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Abstain? All right, let's see what DOT says. Hopefully I think Priya's right, if you emphasize that we've got police, fire, library, schools, and subdivisions, we really need it sooner than later, and they might say we don't care, but,
Sounds good.
be compelling, Mike, be compelling. All righty, next, public records request fees schedule. Mike, you wanna walk us through this one? Are we gonna? Yeah.
Sure. So it has been requested that we waive fees for residents when there are public requests made. I've had more experience in the last several weeks with public requests than I had previously because I'm filling in.
Yeah, it gave you a new perspective when you had to manage it, because
it gave-
usually the town clerk manages it, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
And which is sometimes a full-time job for the town clerk. Yes, I have a new perspective for that. So we have a procedure that the town clerk has established, and it mimics a lot of what the state law allows, and then it also names, how to send in your public records request, what to expect, what the cost is, if there is a cost. So I think the reason that this is on here this evening is to see if the board is willing to waive the fees that are allowed by law for the records access officer to charge on behalf of the town to get these records.
So Mike, do you have numbers on what it's cost the town in terms of lost man hours, et cetera,
I do.
over any distinct period of time?
I do. As I had mentioned to you, I started taking a look at this just in the last week, just to see, because, again, I have a new perspective. Before it was like, we got a record, take care of this, and
Yeah.
eventually it would get taken care of. Now I find myself pulled away from my work to do so, and I realize how much the police chief is pulled away from his work, and other department heads who are involved, and staff. So I did some rough numbers, and over the last 3 months, it was about $800 in employee time, or, but then I thought, we've been doing this, the state, passed this, established this records access officer position, which is required for all municipalities. And they established that in 2017. So, taking the $800 for this past quarter was cost, and then, extrapolating that across the last 7 years, it's about $21,000
Wow.
in employee time that's pulled away from their work. And that's in time that is not charged, at least, and again, I want to be clear, I'm only looking at 3 months' time, and I'm extrapolating, which can be a dangerous art, right? But assuming that your public record requests come in at a fairly steady rate, which sometimes are higher, sometimes are lower. But yeah, so an accurate statement, though, is that over the last 3 months, it's been about $800 in employee time.
It's also lost opportunity time, because if someone's spending 20 hours pulling public records, they're not doing something else.
Right.
So it's not just the dollar amount. I mean, not that we can stop it, we have to comply. Okay. What are your thoughts, everybody?
So so what I ideally, would like to see. So we have two sides of it, right? So you have people that will make several records requests, or even have, like businesses. So sometimes lawyers will submit public records requests, which are extremely detailed and intensive and take a lot of time. But in that, you have kind of the cost of doing business, which is included or expected. Similar to having builders coming in and saying, I'd like all the proceedings from the past things regarding this property. And that is also the cost of doing business in that aspect. I guess what I mostly would be looking for is, we have the option to choose. So the state mandated that if the town has more than 20,000 people, they have to provide the 2 first hours of work for free. And so I think that we should provide at least the first 2 hours of work for free, because these are documents and things that are getting created with taxpayer money. And so while it does cost things, do we need to improve the systems we're using so we can access the information easier? Do we need, are there means of improving that so we reduce the actual lost hours? Is it a training issue? Is it those types of things? But the law was created mostly, so at least in my opinion, to provide transparency and access to information that should be available to people, so you can see that what's happening, I guess, and make your own conclusions. But my thinking was mostly just, if we allow for the 2 hours to be not charged, and then say things over 2 hours of estimated time should be charged, but also just making sure that we know what we can and cannot charge for, like, right? So if we end up having to redact it from a legal request, we cover that cost because we're obligated to, because we're choosing to redact that information. I mean, technically you could just let everything fly, but I don't think that's good practice. And then outside of that, right, if we then hit more than 5 hours, I think we should just make sure that, like, you know, you have like your pre-surgery or your pre-flight checklist, like, does this seem reasonable? Like having a second sign-off, because like I'm in the life sciences, and so when you have your lab notebook, you have the scientist that does the work and then says, these are my findings, and then someone else that reviews it and says, yes, I agree that this is done according to protocol, or what have you. And so either implementing something like that, but if we're able to just, for most things, I think that that way we can apply it consistently across everything. And so that was my thinking of an approach to take for this. So that way it's consistent, reasonable, because we're saying, look, we don't have to give the first 2 hours for free, but we're covering that because we feel that it's our obligation to give you this. And that way, like for things like, oh, can I have a copy of my wedding certificate? Like, you could charge $5 or 5 minutes or 15 minutes, but I don't think we should.
Sure, yeah.
So I think the 2 hour limit kind of covers where the general, like the difference between a large request and a small request would do it. And I think that, because also there is a cost for taking in the money too, right? So you're taking the treasurer's time, they're either cashing the check or something like that, accounting for it, and then it goes into the budget. So like there's that side of it too. And it's not like we take electronic payment for it.
Right. Okay, so I was taking notes while you were talking. So and I used the word complimentary instead of free. So you're suggesting that the first 2 hours of research into the records request or research for records is complimentary. That time spent redacting, in other words, making it legal for us to disseminate, is complimentary because that's required by us. And this is when I got sketchy because I was listening and writing. If it was more than 5 hours, notify the requester of the expected charges?
No, so I was saying having like a secondary reviewer. So in the example of having, like in the lab notebook, so you have the scientist doing the experiment. So if we're asking people to say, how much time do you think this is? And then you say, if they come back and say, 20 hours, and you're just like, can you explain to me how you got that? Rather than just shipping it back, right? So, but if it comes in under 5 hours, it's like, okay, cool. Like it doesn't really, like I think that that's kind of the threshold where I think a reasonable threshold, and I'm not saying like second guess everybody, but it kind of provides a checks and balances and making sure that it's provided
Being done
equitably,
efficiently?
yeah, and like, you know, and consistently, because you have a second person signing off on it and they may have a different perspective.
Okay, so then if we think it's going to be more than 5 hours, have a second person review the request and the estimation on time on task,
Yeah, and just kind of like either sign off on it or.
and then
what
let the
have you.
requester know.
Yeah,
But that, I like that. I like that there's another person kind of double checking to make sure it's an appropriate amount of time so that the requester doesn't feel like they're being overcharged or.
well, I mean, because sometimes it can also be components from different departments
Right.
too. And so if there's a person, if the whole request comes in over 5 hours, if one department said 3 or 4 hours, another department said 3 or 4 hours, and another department said 3 or 4 hours, if you kind of say like, okay, well, I can see this one, but not really this one, can you help me understand why this is going to take 3 or 4 hours? And that way you kind of look at it holistically as well.
Right.
Is that not happening right now? I thought that was happening even now. Is that not, Mike?
So
Right.
often it is. So
Yeah.
like in police and fire get a lot of public records. And generally those, if it comes in through, and a public record request can come in through many avenues. Somebody can pass you a note, they can email you, they could send it to anybody in this building. Most often it's going to go through the town clerk. And then, but a lot of times the records, sometimes they're accessible by the town clerk, but often it's from another department. So then it's gonna get vetted out to those departments. If it goes to police and fire, it's gonna go to the chief. And then the chief is gonna have somebody else on the staff looking at it, and it's gonna come
Okay.
back. So there are two people touching it after the town clerk. In that regard, yes. I don't know that they're actually double checking the math per se, but there are a number of hands touching it.
Yeah. I think until we actually pull everything, you will never have an accurate time, right?
No, I get that.
Yeah, so,
It was just
Yeah, it's
to
an
make sure
estimate
for,
at
like,
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, consistency.
yeah.
And then, would this 2-hour, I'll keep it simple, would this 2-hour complimentary be for everybody, whether you're a resident or not? If a business from Boston wants a simple little request, do we give that to the lawyer from Boston for 2 hours for free?
Well, if it's a simple request, would it take 2 hours?
That's my, that's my question.
That wouldn't be a simple request, it only would take 2 hours. I mean,
Well, I know that what's on here is for Boxborough residents.
That's what I'm asking, right, yeah.
Right,
So it's for Boxborough residents.
waiving the fees would be, waiving the first 2 hours would be for Boxborough residents.
So then.
But that doesn't mean that's what we, I mean, just because, that doesn't mean that's what it is.
So then we're waiving the fee for everybody for the first 2 hours?
That's what we are discussing.
And that's what I'm asking, right, yeah, that's
right?
what, yeah, that's
I
what-
mean, that's one of the
Yeah.
discussions, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean,
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Well, one thing that I should have mentioned when I talked about having a new perspective is that as I looked through the last several months of requests, it struck me that there are hundreds of requests that come in. And most of the residential ones get sent out with no charge. Most of the commercial ones that take significant time do get charged. In fact, all of them do. If it's a quick one, I mean, if it's a record and we have it sitting here, we don't care if it's a commercial entity or a resident or whatever, we're just gonna hand it over
Yeah.
by the easiest means. And that's usually what people want. What I have noticed, though, is that of the hundreds of requests in a 3-month period, there are several residents whose names pop up again and again and again. And I'm not gonna mention their names, but it's almost to the point of abusive. And while you can't selectively charge some people and not charge other people, for example, in the last 2 weeks, I'd send out after doing work on fulfilling a public record request, some by myself and some with help from others, send the reply, and then the thank you to the, for getting that reply is followed by, and now I want. And that's frustrating to be pulled away from my work for a job that I'm filling in for someone else doing, to do a follow-on request. And again, I'm talking about hundreds of requests across a couple of months, and a small handful of people that I think are abusing what should be a service that provides people with the records that they're entitled to. And that's a concern that again, we're having a new perspective, that's concerning that our town clerk spends a significant amount of time, and it's not just me that's done these multiple requests. I look back through some of the past records, and it's the same people continually asking her, well, give me this, give me this, give me this. And not just, can you give me this document, but I want all of this category. And so there's a lot to it.
But, so Mike, are they billed for that work?
Sometimes they are, sometimes they are not.
And that's why we're doing this, is in part to
But then
create
that-
what are the parameters, because we have the right to bill based on this.
Right, but it says a half an hour, right? It says if the time it will take to identify, segregate, compile, and redact records is more than approximately 30 minutes.
So we cannot charge for redactions.
Oh, so we have to fix that anyway. Okay.
Right, so we'll correct that.
Okay, all right.
But regardless, the current policy does say if it's more than a half an hour of work, there is a charge, and then there's a fee schedule. And this one is by the page, and I didn't print it, I didn't want to kill trees. It's by the page, it's by the piece, so to speak, and that, from an accounting perspective, would be a pain in the butt.
so Mike, one other thing I think while we are discussing this, can we make sure that like everything is now getting posted on our website and getting in there timely? Because I do know there are some minutes that don't make it timely into our website. So I think that might kind of alleviate some of these issues. But in my opinion, just based upon all of this, I think we cannot eliminate the charge. But as long as you're telling me that if it's somebody's asking for like a certificate, right? Like, and those things are not getting charged, like you're able to give it to them right away, then I think that's
Yeah.
it's fair. And the ones that we are charging is like if it's anything beyond the half hour or whatever the time that we have it here, albeit we might have to redo the wording, I think we should keep the charge.
Adam, are you
That's
speaking as
just
a
my-
private citizen or
Yeah.
chair? Okay. Well, I just know which hat you
Well,
got
because
on.
one of the things is school committee, that's why I didn't know if you.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, I have my perspective because I see what they come in from the school side, but really, I guess the question for clarification I would ask for Mike to give the committee some more information is, what you have now says after 30 minutes of work, but what is the amount of work that goes in beforehand? So you often will get a very vague request that requires a lot of clarification before you can then figure out how much work you need to do to give them that work. So there may have actually been 2 hours of work in advance of preparing the estimate that could be 30 minutes of work. So I think it would be good to hear from you, Mike, some more details around that, because I'm familiar with some of those sort of aggressive public records request folks, and it becomes really onerous.
Yeah, thank you actually for that question, because that's something I should have said a little more clearly at the beginning. When I talked about $800 for the prior quarter, that was just in what has not been charged in preparation before sending out the estimate. That's what that number is, and that's when I extrapolated that one quarter across 7 years and come up with about $21,500 in employee time. Again, estimated, but that's in that preparation, as Adam was asking, and I didn't
So
send
that's
them
not
out there
even
as a plan.
providing everything. That's prepping to provide.
That's prepping to provide. That what I see is that's Becky Harris, our town clerk's time in going out to the other departments, and then they come up with the fee estimates. They send, or time estimates. They send the time estimate back. And by the way, these estimates are based on no more than $25 per hour, so we can't charge for legal time. So if we do have to send a lot of our public records requests out to town council, to make sure it's something that
Do
we
you have any
can
idea what
release.
that costs us?
I do.
Just the town council
The last,
interactions?
yeah, the last 3 years have cost about $21,000 in legal fees to the town. We can't charge for that.
So we're talking 45 grand, so to speak, between employee time and town council?
But so just for context, the $825 is only 33 hours per quarter.
Right.
And that, to me, doesn't, like, literally, that's her job function. That's what she's elected to do, and that's why we pay her
Sure.
to do that kind of stuff. And I don't think that 33 hours is,
Well, he said that's just a prep to get going on it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
not
and I
the
mean, that's
actual.
fine. I think that-
No, but if that's just the prep, then how many hours is it to actually provide it?
so it's effectively just like 3/4 of a week in 4 months or 3 months. And I don't think that's terribly unreasonable.
Yeah, and I want to be clear, Becky, our town clerk, has never complained about this. This is me,
No, I know.
observation over the last several weeks. No, I want to be clear, because she doesn't complain about her work. But I've just noticed, it seems like we're spending a lot of time, and so, and again, this is time that we haven't charged for, that we don't charge for, but then to not charge for what we can charge for, which is the 2 hours of work. I just want, whatever you decide, I want it to be, an informed decision.
Good, Becky?
Yeah, I just have a question. And I'm going to use Kristen as an example because I don't think she does a lot of records requests.
I've never done one in my life.
But, so I'm going to use Kristen because I don't want to call any names out.
Very-
But that being said, say Kristen says, I would like the minutes from this meeting, or the emails that, from between this person and this person in 1 week. It probably wouldn't take you very much time to get it. So you send it to her, you don't charge her anything, it goes 2 hours. And then the next day she sends in, well, now I'd like them from this time to this time. And it doesn't take 2 hours again. So every day she's just needling you and needling you and needling you. And then,
Kristen, stop.
yeah, I know, really, Kristen, you're
My
being a
mother
total
called
pain
me
in
a
the butt.
bitch, but boy.
But, you know, it's a way to skirt having it be, say, for Kristen's sake, well, I would like all the emails for the last 4 years between this person and this person, because then you would be able to charge them, right? So could you do something so, like, you have a minimum for 30 days or something instead of just
not a
every
bad
two
idea.
every 2 hours? Because really, I can see people, I mean, I don't like the man, but I remember Carter saying that people had weaponized open meeting law and records request laws in this
You
town.
didn't like Carter?
No,
Okay.
hard to believe. But anyway, I do feel like there are people who try to skirt that, and so they don't ask for everything they want. They try and just do a little bit here, and you send it to the mic, and then the next day or the day after, you get something else again. And then it just keeps coming.
So Becky, are you suggesting they can make one request every 30 days?
I'm suggesting that you give them the 2 hours, like you cumulatively figure out their stuff, and if it's more than 2 hours, and like, so it can't be like 2 hours today, and then, oh, well, it only took me 30 minutes, and so I think like 2 hours for the whole 30 days or something. I realize there'd be a little bit of a component to figuring that out. It may not even be worth it,
Well,
but
it's tracked in a spreadsheet already, I think, so.
I just do think there are people who totally abuse it.
Yeah, right.
All right, we do have somebody in Zoom. Cindy Markowitz, would you like to join in?
Sure, always like to join in.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the discussion. I guess I would like to, well, first off, I'd like to reframe the discussion a little bit that, you know, public record request is a matter of allowed by law. And, you know, I don't want the select board to see this as people being aggressive when they're asking for public records. You know, I think it's everyone's within their right to request records, and I understand that it can feel burdensome. I'm wondering whether there are a few things the town can do to make it less burdensome. I have asked in the past about better software to scan all public documents so that it's easier to do keyword searches, and I haven't heard an update on whether or not the town is moving forward. I think there maybe have been some discussion. So that is one you know, suggestion, request. I think Priya was alluding to, you know, putting more content up on the website. I think that would be a huge help to the residents, at least, to do their own searches and take some of the burden off. So I'm hoping the town perhaps could look into that. I'm also curious as to whether the town is still being charged by our IT provider Guardian for record searches, and whether, if that is the case, whether the town is considering a different policy to allow the town to own its own records and therefore not have to be charged by an outside firm for doing record searches. So, you know, I want to keep this in a positive light. I think it's a valuable service. And again, public records are public. You're just trying to pull them out from wherever they might hide. And right now, you know, the website isn't so easy to go to dig back for things. I still have trouble ever since we've done the migration. So just some questions, and hopefully technology can help reduce the burden on the employees. But I really caution you to seeing this as a negative thing, that people are asking for records, and keep it as a positive thing. People you want them engaged in town government. You know, folks have a right to understand what's going on and where the documents are. So, you know, I'd like to keep it in a positive light and try and come up with solutions, hopefully that actually helps everybody understand what our town government, which we're all paying for, you know, is doing and where those documents reside. So that's just a couple of thoughts. Thanks.
All right, let me run through it. So first, better scanning software. So I know I use Adobe. I happen to have Adobe Writer, so I can take any PDF and I can keyword search it. Not everybody has Writer, so.
Well, it doesn't help when you search like a whole folder, though.
Oh, okay. If you're looking at a whole folder.
Right.
All right. So Cindy, if you know of any particular scanning software that could make it easier, let us know, and maybe Mike, you can ask Rajan to look into that.
I believe there has been some suggestion on that before, but I will circle back and see if I can
Oh,
get
okay.
some.
All right. Well, if you've already done it, then we've just put it in Mike's lap to check on that. We all agree put more content on the website. In fact, when Mike and I met about this earlier today, we talked about that as he is, you know, pulling things together, he has been posting things to the website. We will make sure that we get minutes. I know Kelly, because I used to be the person writing the minutes. I know that I would get tapped and I would get cranky about it. But yes, getting the boards and commissions to get their minutes in on time, get them uploaded, that makes good sense, packets, all that good stuff. The one thing that I don't know the answer to is her question about Guardian. Are we charged by Guardian to find these documents, and are we looking at anybody else?
So I think what was referred to is the emails, and we now have all of the emails.
Oh, you know
Let's-
what? For anyone who doesn't know what Guardian is, just because people are watching on TV, can you just tell everyone what Guardian is?
Sure, that's our managed IT service that we pay for. And when we migrated over, initially, we didn't have all of our emails, at least the stuff before 2021. We do have all of that now, but we do sometimes, if it's a legal request, like something in discovery, we do still have to pay to go back to our managed IT to get all the root information of where, the tracking information basically for where those messages, emails came from. So
it's not a perfect system, but it's what we're working with.
and we do have all of the emails now back from our IT provider,
Awesome.
is the answer.
Cindy, does that address all your questions?
Yeah, and again, I mean, it's an ongoing conversation. The document scanning software we've talked about a few years ago when the ARPA funds were being contemplated. I don't know whether, I've sort of heard different things, I guess, as to whether the town is actually working to get that scanning software. Maybe Mike can speak to that, but I think, some of these technologies are out there and would help improve and take the burden off the particular employees. And again, anything we can do to facilitate and make the searches easier, either on part of the employees or make it available to the public to do their own searches, I think would be greatly appreciated and would take some of the burden off town staff.
Okay. I can hear myself echoing on somebody. All right, thank you very much, and
So,
that's
could I ask, so
Yeah.
Mike, could you, I'm not clear, are we paying the IT
Yes.
provider to go back to, for any,
So-
any emails?
For
So we-
context, we have 2020, we did the data migration. So the first one back in 2021, I believe, that was from Addition Networks. Addition Networks either went under or we switched to our own Exchange server. And so at that point in time, they took all the emails from before then and put it on a backup archival device. From this archival device, they are in charge of searching and retrieving those documents. So anything from before 2021 is in Guardian's hands. We now have
Okay.
image copies of all the emails, but for some cases, the image copies may not be sufficient enough, particularly in legal matters. But for other things, it may be good enough and sufficient, where we would no longer have to do that.
Okay, so we have access to everything prior to 2021, everything else is on an archive, and we have to have our.
opposite. We have access to everything post 2021.
Oh, sorry, I
prior-
said that backwards,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
The only stuff we have to
Something I
go
do.
back to them now to get is, as far as email, is, if I understand it correctly, is if it's a legal suit.
Sure.
In discovery, and a lawyer has approached us and said, I need all this, and I need all the root information for all these incoming emails. For that, we don't have that. For that, we need to go back to our
Okay.
managed IT services.
Okay.
But for anything coming in from any other business or resident, we don't have to go back to our IT provider to get that. We have access to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good, thanks.
All right. Maria Nealon, I see your hand up too.
Hi, Maria.
Hold on, let me just turn my camera on.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to my comment. I agree with Cindy with respect to the law itself. I do believe that the law is meant for the public to be allowed to get records that they deserve, that they own because they are the public. We work as appointed and elected officials. We work for the public. I think transparency is very important in government. But as somebody that has had this law used against me and weaponized in this town by just a small group of people. I think that charging is important. I think that Becky's comments about the 2 hours, and then the next 2 hours and the next 2 hours, I've been through this multiple times, with 1 or 2 people in town. And I think people need to understand when we say weaponize, I don't really know why, but there's been a member of the community that wanted to get 24 years worth of records from the police department on how many 911 calls my family made to the police department. I don't know to what end. I don't know how long that took to get. Ultimately, it was like, I think twice, 3 times, and one time was my toddlers playing with the phone and the police showed up at my house because my kids called 911. This is the kind of weaponization that I think we're talking about. This is not about, can I have all the emails between Maria and Mike for a week? I'm talking about years worth of emails between myself when I was on the school committee and on select board and members of the police department or the chief. And so I think it's really important that charging is something that, has not worked to keep these requests, to keep this from being weaponized. But I think it's really important that we look at this going forward and understand that this really does affect people. And it's not just me. There's other people in town that have had these kind of document requests against them to no end, to no avail. I've had to pull emails. I've had to send them to Becky. I've gone back and forth day after day, week after week, because this requester has been just like a dog with a bone, and I have no other information to give. And it's emotionally difficult. It is time consuming for both Becky and for
Becky
me.
Harris, you
I
mean,
run a business. Becky Harris, just to be clear, yep. I run a business, so when I have to go back through all my emails and I keep saying, this is all I've got, and then I got to keep revisiting this every week for 3 months because the requester didn't believe in me. And so I think it's really important that we have a policy that discourages that kind of nonsense. And I think Becky Neville, her thought about, 2 hours free in 30 days are complimentary, Kristen, if you'd prefer to call
Just
it
like
that.
to be nice,
And within
yeah.
a 30-day period is okay. But it's really important to understand that when we talk about this, there are people on the other side of this that have been subjected to this for years. I've been subjected to this for years, and I'm not the only one in town. And there's, and I think it's really important that we don't just pretend that this is, minutes that people can't get because the website's not complete. That's not what this is when we talk about weaponizing this. This is truly harassing appointed and elected members. And I'm sure that these comments will now cause more records requests, so I apologize in advance, Mike. So thank you. As you can tell, this is one of these things, and I'm speaking as a resident. I'm speaking for myself personally, not as a member of a committee right now. This has been something that I've had to deal with for years. And I
Maria, I'm
cannot
sorry.
explain how difficult it is. So thank you for listening.
Sure.
Thanks, Maria.
And I appreciate your thoughts and your comments on this.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, I don't want to take away from the sensitive, not saying that I'm not sensitive, but it's really blatant in the law about not using fees to suppress it. And so I want to make sure that we take that into consideration as well, because let me pull up the law, but it literally says fees should not be used as a means of suppressing requests for information.
Well, I think that's what Maria was saying.
Yeah.
Maria was saying that just charging them, that doesn't stop it.
Well, I understand, but I want to make sure that this discussion does not focus on a means of charging fees to prevent people from making requests.
Sure.
More so that the conversation focuses on, as a town, what are we going to provide the residents and when are we going to charge, and making sure we're able to equitably and consistently either charge or not charge. So I just want to make sure, and we got lots of perspectives and they're very real and valid and these things happen. But I think that we need to frame the conversation in more of what burden will the town shoulder, what burden will the town shoulder in producing these records requests, and how do we split the fees or the costs with the requester of this? So I don't mind the 2 hours and 30 days. I might even be willing to do like 4 hours and a quarter or something like that, just as a means of showing good faith that we want to provide these documents. And then because also, like, you can, Becky has a pretty detailed spreadsheet of the requests that come in, the date they come in, who requests them, from what email, and with a few formulas you can quickly and easily have a running trail, like a tail on a second page or something, to say like, okay, for the last like 90 days or whatever, it's a quarter, is that 90 days? Okay,
yeah.
90 days, this requester, blah, blah, blah. So, and I mean, no matter what we do, people can figure out ways to skirt it, but I'd like to
Yeah.
think that's the exception rather than the majority of people. And so that would be my,
I agree. You know, there's no intent to suppress or prevent people from getting information they need. Absolutely. Maria, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I mean, 24 years of 911 calls. My babysitter used to burn things a lot, so I'm on that list. But yeah, we don't want to suppress, and we also don't want people to use it to bully. I mean, to me, that sounded like bullying.
but we can't control that part.
I understand that. But we as a board have to walk that line where we manage all of this. So it goes back to, I do think it's appropriate to give a certain number of complimentary service hours in whatever period this group wants. And then after that, you know, that person or entity, if it's an attorney or whatnot, is notified that here's the estimate for the rest of the information you want. Would you like to proceed? And to me, giving them the option of proceeding or not helps make that fair. You know, if I really want it and I'm not just bullying Maria, I will pay the
Well, I mean,
$100.
if they are, they might choose to pay anyways.
I know, understand, yeah.
Just so I'm clear, we're still talking about any waiving of fees would just be for residents?
Yes.
Because I would assume attorneys and commercial
Yeah.
clients, they're still, like you say, it's cost of doing business still.
So Kristen, are you saying waiving the fees for residents for everything?
No, well, yes, but with a number of hours and a limit in whether it's 30 days or 90 days. I actually like the idea of in a quarter.
Quarter.
You get 4 hours in a quarter.
Quarter.
And if it's more than 4 hours, you need to compensate the town for the time being spent.
For a resident?
For
And-
residents only.
residents.
And is that 4 hours made up of 8 half hours?
It could be whatever, because Wes was explaining that a spreadsheet is kept, so the town clerk could quantify it and say, okay, Ms. or Mr. Resident, you've hit your 4 hours, and here's where you hit it, would you like to proceed? Because the record keeping is already in place.
So 4 hours for residents, free. Any business comes in, we charge from the get-go.
Well, yeah, because they're charging their client,
Yeah.
Okay.
so they're being
All right.
paid by their client for their time, and so therefore our time should be compensated also.
Even-
That's my opinion.
Even if a business is in town?
Yeah, if a business
Yeah,
is a business.
it's a business.
We're talking about
Okay. All right.
resident
Make
requests
sure.
first, yeah. Well, that's my feeling. So, you guys,
Plus, the
I'm
commercial
making this
requests
up as we
typically
go
come
along.
in
I know,
much
yeah.
more significant than residents' requests, at least in my
All right.
hypothesis.
So I'm thinking we shouldn't be trying to wordsmith right here. We probably need to direct Mike with some
think
input,
we have a
go
sense,
back and
yeah.
draft, and then bring it back to us.
Yeah, Mike, can you put something together that says 4 hours
Every quarter.
every quarter? And other than that, you're gonna get charged for it. Just put something together, then we can discuss that. Put it, you wordsmith it yourself.
Well, so I also don't know, because I had briefly talked with Mike, if we're going to do this either policy or guidelines, it doesn't really, in my opinion, make sense to mirror a lot of what is. So I see the benefit of having a guideline where it kind of summarizes it, but the template is almost as large as the state's public, like the whatever thing. And now with like LLMs and GPT, people can summarize it much easier and faster. But typically like policies or guidelines would be where we deviate from what the state regulations or standards are. That's at least my opinion. And I don't know if we want to even include like people's names or titles in there, like saying, if you instead, because right now they name the individual in this guidelines, which means anytime there's turnover or something changes, you need to update this guideline. But, and I'm fine with that. I just for consideration, that was my other thought, even just to simplify it.
What are your thoughts?
Just one thought, if, you know, if we're gonna do 4 hours and a quarter, I think, we might wanna consider rolling in the hours that we have not charged for, which is the time the town clerk, and for this brief period, the time that I spend actually getting this thing, because that is time, and in fact, the town clerk's hours and my hours are more valuable than some of the people, you know, that are actually doing this.
They're more costly.
Yeah.
We'll say they're more costly.
Yeah, they're more costly than maybe somebody who's actually going in and viewing the footage or making the copies or whatever. So we might want to consider rolling that time in. In fact, I was surprised that we weren't charging for that time.
So does this get back to Adam's comment where he was saying, like, even doing the discovery to understand what somebody wants is part of that?
Yeah, it takes time just to
Yeah.
figure out what it is that they're looking for, and contacting people and you know,
Managing.
yeah, managing the whole, you know, bringing together the request and the response to it.
Yeah.
And then there's the writing the letters, and there's, well, we can't charge for legal time. Sometimes, because of what somebody's asking for, we do have to reach out to legal. So while we can't charge for the lawyer's time, what about my time, or the town clerk's time, or the police chief's time and again, that money's not coming back to a department or a person, it's going back into the general fund.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
I do
think
too.
that
I
that's
agree.
because, yeah.
So I don't know if we can actually charge for that time.
The town administrator and town clerk's time?
So I think the scope of what we can actually charge for is fair. I'm trying to find it right now, but I don't know if we can charge for the prep time, because my understanding is you're only allowed to charge for the time it takes to search, collect, and like organize the documents, not necessarily.
And maybe that's why she never has charged for that time.
Okay.
But
Well-
it's significant, the time spent coordinating this effort.
But can it go under the complimentary?
Yeah, right, well,
Hours,
well,
yeah.
because
So if we can't, then I think the town should be charging for that first 2 hours then.
Adam?
I was just gonna say what Mike was saying. I don't think you can charge for the prep time, but it is significant. And so by giving 4 hours in a quarter, you've got 4 hours plus another 3 or 4 hours of discovery time. I think that you may wanna look at, and at Mike's discretion, what is a reasonable amount of time that you might give as a complimentary amount of time for the actual work of preparing records, knowing that there is a lot of work that happens beforehand.
Okay, good point. Well, like I said, my recommendation is let's not wordsmith it. We'll give Mike some input, come back with something. Wes, you seem to be the most familiar with all of this, so maybe Mike send your draft to Wes first and get his input. That might help speed things along.
Yeah, and the other
I mean,
thing
send it
is,
to all of us, but chances are
Yeah.
Wes will have more input than I will have.
my preference would be to not set up a new policy or procedure or put it to finalization until the town clerk is back doing it, because I'm just filling in and observing things, but I wouldn't want her to come back and inherit something that I've crafted and then say, this is garbage. I think her value, she's been doing this much longer, and I think her input on it would be
I agree.
much more valuable. But I think I will take all this back, start smithing something,
Okay.
and then work with her when she
So
comes
maybe if our
back.
goal is to have it in place by the beginning of the next fiscal year,
Yeah, that'd be good.
does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so we'll be working on this over the next 6 months then, give
Sure.
or take. All right, perfect. And Becky, we hope you're feeling well and hope to see you soon. Okay, any further discussion on that from anybody? All righty then. Okay, last but not least, meeting minutes from September 9th, 2024.
I have no comments on them.
Anybody?
I actually reviewed them, and again, Kelly, thank you very much, fantastic job.
All right. Okay. Then I move to approve the regular session minutes of September 9th, 2024 as presented.
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Me?
Oh, I was an aye. Unanimous.
Wes is abstaining.
Oh, Wes is abstaining, sorry. Okay, everybody, that's it.
That's right. Select board and town.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was skipping that. Select Board and Town Administrator Office reports and updates. So we'll start at this end of the table. What's that?
Okay, I have a couple of things. First, we received a letter today from the Lieutenant Governor awarding us the Community Compact Grant that we had requested, which is, and I'll read the title of it. It's something that Alec came in front of the board and talked about a meeting or two ago. And it was, we had applied for the Community Compact Grant, and the category that we had applied for was Best Practice Number 1, Age and Dementia Friendly, in developing and updating an ADA transition plan for municipalities. So we're looking at what do we need to do to study our municipal buildings to comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act? And we know that some of our buildings are old, they don't fully comply, but if we start doing a little bit of work, we need to do it all. So we want to do a study. So we've been awarded a grant for $50,000 to study that, which is what was applied for. So that's the first thing. So that's great news and good work on behalf of Alec, our land use director. And the second thing I have is this evening, many of you joined Becky Harris. It's the first time we'd seen her in a while as she took the podium and led the community in cutting the ribbon at Perkins Woods. And for those who don't know what Perkins Woods is, that is the piece of land that the community decided to buy a couple of years ago at 95 Sergeant Road. And it was a tremendous ceremony. It was the culmination of a great collaborative effort by the entire community, many boards and committees, state agencies, our legislators, and all of the people in the community that contributed personally to purchase this land and put it into conservation restriction for the town. So leading the charge was Becky Harris. And you know, throughout this entire process and today at the ceremony, and it was wonderful. And at the end of that, many people, you know, went on the new hiking trail around the land. So I just wanted to let people know there were, I don't know, maybe there were 50 or 60 people there. We used the community transportation to get people to and from because there wasn't enough parking though there, although there's a new parking lot. But a wonderful event and the culmination to a great effort by the community.
Wonderful. I'm sorry I missed it. I had to work. So. Did anybody else make it? You guys did?
Well, he brought the folks in on the.
Oh, that's
on the
right.
van.
You drove the bus.
Yeah.
There you go.
He was my driver tonight.
Did they tip you? Nope. I don't want to know. No tips. No tips.
No, it was a great event, and the amount of collaboration involved in pulling it off was just phenomenal, and everybody really just felt good that was there, that you know, they in some way or other was part of it, you know, and it was quite an accomplishment. So yeah, no, and Becky was terrific as the MC, and
awesome.
you know, with Jamie and
Yeah,
and
quite a
Dan
few
Santa
speakers,
there.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So and folks from Sudbury Valley Trust and Boxbow Trust. Anyway, it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, exactly what Dave was just saying. You know, I didn't realize there were so many agencies, took so many agencies back and forth over a 3-year period of time, back and forth between all of these agencies to finally all agree and to get everything pushing it along to get it done. And all congratulations to all the agencies who worked to get that done. That was a real accomplishment.
Absolutely. Well, and to the property owners who
Yes,
wanted
and
to
thank
work with
them.
us in the first place. It's amazing. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Anything else?
Just on that same note, on the Perkins Woods, it was during my first year here that Becky Harris approached me and said, I'd like to have a meeting with you and the chair of the Agriculture Commission and the Conservation Commission about stewarding this land. And I had this vision in in my mind of Clash of the Titans, where AgCom and ConsCom are going to come together. You know, the people who love to cut down trees, and then the people who love to save trees. and I really didn't want to be
With
part.
chainsaws and lightning
I
bolts.
wanted nothing to do with that meeting, but it was interesting. You know, at the time, Liz Markowitz was chair of ConsCom. Now Sam Anderson is, and Owen Neville was chair of AgCom, and the four of us had a wonderful meeting. And it was interesting to watch the two of them work collaboratively to figure out how they were going to be co-stewards of this land. And is it 27 acres? It's something like it's a significant amount of land. I want to say 27 acres. But they have figured out and wrote a legal document that everyone has agreed to on how they were going to manage this land, protect the flora and fauna, as well as continue to forest that land and replant it. It's just wonderful.
Wonderful. Oh, well, nice job, everybody. We love a good collaboration.
That's it for me.
That's it for you. Okay, so I've been spending some time with the Affordable Housing Board, and one of the things the board is going to be working on is helping the town and people that own affordable housing units to understand their deed rider. Because we have Boxborough Meadows that was one of the first in the state and the first for us that have certain deed language. You know, that the deed rider is what actually identifies the affordable housing component attached to the deed restriction that keeps that property in our affordable housing inventory. And it talks about how and when it can be sold, how the values are determined, what happens if it goes into foreclosure. Like, it's a pretty significant legal document, and everybody's, not, I shouldn't say everybody's, there are several different versions, because we have our 40Bs where, you know, we were helping to draft it. Then we also have the condo purchase program where we were buying condos and putting them into affordable housing. So there's some confusion, and it's come up because we've had these wonderful long-term residents that are now ready to sell, and we've kind of figured out that, oh, wow, it is a hard document to understand. So I'm going to be working with the board to put together, and with Mike and the whole team, to put together some kind of an ALEC, to put together an educational seminar so we can help people understand the rider, because even the board reading it together, it's legalese, so it can be difficult. So just trying to see, trying to help people navigate the process. I know there's going to be another one coming up on one of our garden style condos. The agent called me and said, how do I manage this? And I had to say, I don't know. Call a town planner and read your deed rider and get an attorney involved, because it really is pretty significantly complicated. So working on that. And then while I'm talking about that, that committee is sorely in need of volunteers, because we have people that have stepped up, people that are moving, and that and the personnel board, very shortly we'll not even be able to have meetings if we don't find new volunteers. So this is a plea. We are going to be doing some pretty significant marketing to try to find some people that are willing to step up for those two very important boards, and many others that are seeing vacancies. So to that end, Kraft Food Halls approached me in my work life to do a trunk or treat for Halloween at their facility in their parking lot.
Nice.
And so I immediately came and talked to Mike. I've already talked to the police chief and the fire chief, because we already do our truck or treat at the public safety. And everybody's on board to, let's move it on over to Kraft Food Halls, help support our businesses, our small business, keep that restaurant in town. So one of the things that I thought we might do is use that as an opportunity, because there will be lots of people there with their children, I hope, to encourage them to volunteer. And I, talked to Mike about reaching out to the various boards and commissions, departments, and saying, hey, do you want to decorate a vehicle and be part of it, have some fun, and also have an opportunity to meet a lot of people and maybe get some people to sign up. Now, I understand. I've never been to a trunk or treat. I've talked to people who have. I understand it is a mad, crazy rush for candy. So, so I don't know how much chatting will go around. But even if on every piece of candy there's a little "we'd love you to volunteer" attached to that piece of candy. But anyway, so that's something that I'm excited to kind of pull the town into, and supporting that. So those are my two updates. You're up.
Okay, I'm up. So I would remind folks that we had Chris Heideck here the last meeting, and he mentioned about let's call it an anniversary celebration for Steel Farm.
Yep.
So that will be the 19th of, from 2 to 4.
October?
October, yeah, so that's, I think we'll try to get more publicity out from that in the meantime. And the phase 3 for the farmhouse is ready, the RFP should be public.
For the ice house or farmhouse?
No, the ice house.
Ice house, is it
done.
roofed?
Huh?
Is it all roofed?
Oh, yeah, the whole thing is done, except it's just been one coat of primer. It needs some paint.
Gotcha. I
yeah.
never go up Middle Road, so,
Yeah.
okay.
No.
I cut down
oh,
your street
You
instead.
gotta check it out, it's beautiful.
They did a
Oh, good
fabulous
field trip.
job, yeah.
So, all right, so go back to the party from 2 to 4 on the 19th. Are you gonna have music? Is there gonna be cider? Like, tell me about your party.
Well, a lot of that, there's a meeting Wednesday night to just kind of like firm up all those things. So I can't tell you
All right.
a lot at this point. But what we did talk about was
This
that,
is why men aren't in charge of Capital Sunday breakfast, or Capital Saturday
yeah.
breakfast.
Well,
I don't know.
all right. I'm not even gonna go there.
We'll tell them exactly what to get.
All right, we'll make you a list.
A list.
So, but what
All
we
of
did
the
talk
list.
about was apple cider donuts
I can do
and some
that.
apple cider
Nice.
and treats for dogs to come up and
Oh,
people
treats
can
for
take
dogs,
their
yes.
pictures. I mean, it's really, it's probably like one of the best dog parks in eastern Massachusetts, right? I mean,
Yeah.
people are there all the time, you
Yeah.
know, doing their walks. So, so that's it, and I'm sure there'll be more, but I you know,
But that's it for now. And there
that's
might
it
be
for
the
today.
cider donuts and
So it's
cider
come
donuts.
by, you know, and you know, we'll try to open the house up so people can kind of at least look in, you know, check out the barn, you know, check out the ice house and.
Awesome.
So, we've all been waiting for the building to get finished off, and that RFP should be public, on the 25th.
All right.
John had that submitted, so that should be so we'll be moving along with that. The Water Resources Committee, has their contract with Weston and Sampson to do the phase 1 of the, water, resources strategy, so.
Awesome.
So we're making good progress there.
So I have to ask you, I mean, one of the things that people have asked me if there are any cost estimates and impact, betterment fees and all that. We're not even close to that, right? We have no idea what this is
For
gonna
the
cost.
line,
Yeah,
For the,
for the water line.
Gluten.
for the water line.
So we have no idea what that might be yet.
I don't know who's gonna determine that. I assume that Littleton,
It's gotta be Littleton, right?
is gonna come up with that
Yeah.
number.
so for that, I know they've gone out to bid already, and they have some of the bids in.
Okay.
And that was-
But it'll be a while before we know the actual,
And
you
that
know,
was
what the
Littleton
betterments will be for the.
Okay.
That was Littleton Electric that went out for the bids.
All right. Because
I'm
let's
asking-
remember.
No, I'm asking. the
Yes,
question. Yeah, that was
correct.
Littleton.
Yeah.
Because let's remember that almost half of, well, not half, probably a good third of our households are going to be impacted significantly by those charges. Yes, they need it, but we have to be cognizant of the impact.
Right,
And those are not our wealthiest citizens. Just
that's
gonna say
right,
it.
that's right. And there were a couple of people that were on, you know, some previous meetings, you know, kind of asking questions about it. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised, I think there were 2, but
Yeah.
I'm surprised there were only 2. Because it's
think
gonna
it's-
impact a lot of people.
I think quite frankly, a lot of people are kind of in denial about it. You know, or it's
Yeah.
way far off, but I think we definitely, when we get there, we're gonna need to do major community outreach and maybe even go to them.
Right.
So
And
they
that-
understand what
What's
is coming.
And we know any betterments are expensive, and, you know, there's no doubt these betterments will be expensive to the businesses and the condominium associations, any, you know, residents that live there. But we also have to remember that it was those associations and those businesses that came to the town
Yeah.
asking for support because it was a much less expensive endeavor than them putting in their own public water supplies, which they are mandated by EPA or by EPA to do.
DEP,
By
yeah.
DEP to do.
Yeah.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that it will be expensive for them.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's necessary. I just think that the more we do to educate,
Right.
the more they'll understand why, and the better we can do to ameliorate that cost, you know, spread it out as far as we can, that kind of a thing. So, I know like Acton did a 30-year. You paid on your taxes for
Right.
30 years, you know, so we'll, all right, just something to
Yeah,
have in the
no,
back of your head.
I think you're right, and I think education is, I mean, that aspect certainly for the folks over there, but just even, the folks around Boxford, and all these, with all of these individual wells in our homes.
Yeah.
Most people probably don't pay attention to that. Or they buy their water at,
Yeah.
from Poland
Wherever.
Springs or Market Basket or something, but.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Council on Aging has Charlie cards coming up. I think that was mentioned
Yeah, the
last
Charlie
time.
cards were brought up last time, yeah.
So that's gonna be in October, so anybody
That's
who's
exciting.
over 60, 65, 65, is eligible for.
And that gets you half-price fare, is that what it was?
Gets you half-price fares on the train.
I still can't believe it's
so-
$22 to go into Boston.
23.
It was 50 cents when I was a kid. Back in my
Well,
day.
that hair dye's
I am
working
wicked
really
old.
good. That hair dye's working really good for you, huh?
Thanks. Yeah.
Don't go to
And the
bar.
Botox and the
She
tape
said
behind
it.
my
She
ear.
opened the door and said 50
Yeah.
cents.
I haven't
All right,
done
I-
that. Okay, moving on, sorry.
Moving on.
Bob, you're up.
Actually, I have two meetings coming up, one tomorrow and then one Wednesday with the Wellbeing Committee and then the Personnel Board again. The Personnel Board will be making another presentation to this board with some important and necessary document updates. So.
All right, we look forward to it. Priya, what's up with you?
So I have two updates, one from the building committee. The important thing that happened was, we are going to consider at least a higher level overview of 975 Mass Ave. It was considered way back in 2017 and it was passed over because at that time, based on the studies that they had, there was issues about ledge and also septic and sightline issues that were all concerns. So it was passed over. However, with 1320? I always
Yes.
mix up. Okay, with 1320 not in the picture, they felt, the committee felt that it would be appropriate to have at least a higher level look at the 975
Sure.
again.
There was also the purchase price for that one. Didn't the owner at the time want 2.5 million or something extraordinary?
975?
I thought the land
Well,
was
that was-
extraordinary.
The land purchase would have been very low, but the price of removing the ledge was the concern, as
Okay.
Priya
Yeah.
mentioned, which put it up, possibly up into the millions.
Okay,
Yeah.
because the spreadsheet I read just said it would add an additional $2.5 million back then to the project, and I assumed that was
So
land
just the
purchase.
site prep back in 2017 was 3.4 million.
Oh, okay.
And then, but now,
Welcome
that
to
was in
Roxborough.
2017, so
Yeah.
now it's probably even higher.
Okay.
But they
But let's look
still,
into it.
yeah, they still wanted to take a look at that one. I know, it passed with a majority, 5-1. I was the only one against it
Yeah.
because I didn't want to spend any more time.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it's like a higher level overview, right? From what we were discussing?
Right, the approach was going to be to, take a look at the things that cost the least, go for the low hanging fruit. If there's something that doesn't cost a lot, we can go and analyze, does it stay in? Yes, or if no, then take it out. What wasn't done back at that time, years ago, was a thorough analysis of how deep does the ledge go. They know there was ledge, and so there was an assumption that the ledge was everywhere. That's not known, and that wouldn't be the first step taken there, but we need to know a little bit more. Is it several million, or is it, so it needs another look, and
Okay.
that's what the committee
Yeah.
plans to do.
I mean, it also has like a stream which forces the setback as well as like steep slope.
Yeah, there's
and
water
the-
there, yeah.
So all those are,
Does that back up to Steel Farm? Is that where,
Yeah,
that's what I see when I walk the dogs, and you can see 111 in the winter?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
It backs up to two pieces of town-owned property.
Yeah, I think
One of them
okay.
connects to Steel Farm, and the other one, I can't recall.
Yeah, because I know, because I walk the dogs back there. Okay. I think the only thing I'd want you to bring back to the committee, at least for me as the chair, is the committee was charged to getting to a special town meeting in February. If we
Yes.
have to delay it to ATM, the prices just keep going up,
Going up,
kids.
yep.
So please, please, please be as expedient as you can be to do the research, please.
yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Apart from the fact that, I'm just gonna say it, at annual town meeting, we have a lot of other things to discuss. It will probably be very emotional because we're gonna have decisions to be made. I'd rather not be doing all of that in 1 week.
1 week, yeah. No, I think the board understands, the committee understands that it's
Okay.
important for the February one to
Thank you.
have something.
I'm not
for the
saying
town.
to, I'm not saying to rush it, and I'm not saying to skip things, I'm saying to be expedient. Like, don't put off what you can do today until tomorrow, because we don't have that time anymore.
Okay.
All right, try to be nice.
No, I know, don't-
As I hit Dave,
don't
I'm
rush
trying to
it.
be nice.
Well, just sit next to her.
Yeah.
I got the eyebrows, what's
Yeah.
up?
So,
Okay, sorry.
I maybe you guys can speak to the communication plan with the towns, because I get questions. People walking through town, and I said, so what's going on with the fire station? And I said, well, in terms of letting us know what's going on, and so you have your meetings, and there's a working group too that is
Yes,
doing
there
stuff,
is, yes, that's the other part.
But when does the information, other than people watching the stuff on TV, when does that go out to?
Sure. So I can answer that, and I'm sure that Priya can add to it as well. So right now, the committee and the professionals, basically the fire chief and myself who are supporting, and Kelly who are supporting this committee, we don't know a lot. So the beginning part of the communication is going to be listening. This committee has made it very clear they want to listen to the community and hear its concerns. As we move along, we're going to have more data, more analysis, more information, and that'll be when the communication becomes more two-way, when the committee has a lot to put out and share, and we'll still be listening. In the interim, the chief has made it clear that he will give anyone a tour of the current station that wants, or if they're interested in learning, what does the department there do? What does the staff do as far as their three functions in suppressing fires, in providing emergency medical services, and in emergency management? So it's education and listening at this point, though. And the other thing that the committee has charged me with doing is taking in frequently asked questions, and as we start getting those repeat questions or value-added questions, putting them up on the website. And so we'll be working on that, getting those onto the website and communicating that out to the community. Also, there is a subcommittee of the Fire Station Building Committee that is working on community engagement. And they will be meeting shortly, and they'll be talking about that, I think, this coming Thursday.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys had seen the Fire Station Building Committee website. It does show, in terms of, what happened through August 19th, just the higher level.
Nice.
So,
And that-
August 29th, sorry.
And that's right off the website?
That's right off
The main one?
the main website, the Fire Station Building Committee.
So is the plan for the committee to look at one site and then do that, and then go to a different site? Or are there gonna be parallel activities, looking at various sites simultaneously? When does somebody know, for example,
Go ahead,
if that
Mike.
site?
I think context is going to be looking at them concurrently. That was
Okay.
the plan.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so, but there's going to be, our architect is going to be presenting one site at a time to the committee, but they're doing concurrent work on
Okay.
the sites.
So-
Okay, so that's where
It's a big job.
they'll be able to listen in when they wanna know, okay, what is context saying about the existing site? What is context saying about 975? What is context saying about?
Right.
About, Stowe Road? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
And
the-
we also discussed that none of the sites are going to be without
Perfect.
issues.
Yeah.
We still have to
Yeah.
do the matrix and then pick one that's going to
Yep.
work.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
It's never going to be, we are never going to find a site that's going to be absolutely everything checks off.
You're gonna have positives and negatives
Negatives
on every
every
site.
site, yeah.
And the one with the less negatives
Yeah.
is gonna be the one
What-
chosen.
Yeah.
Dave, for right now, I would say that for folks that are approaching, board members, I would say two things. One, if they haven't had a tour of the fire station, even though I don't think there's anyone out there that argues that there isn't a new station needed, I think it's still worth going and seeing what's there, and then what is it that's needed? What are the needs and what are the functions there? And also, I would direct people to the Fire Station Building Committee site, because on that site, Kelly has set that up. There are milestones of what the committee has gone through since you appointed that committee, and then what they've done each step along the way. There are links there that go to some of the current studies that are going on. There's also a link that goes to the old Boxborough Building Committee, and while that committee is no longer active, a lot of the work that committee did is very valuable, and it's still archived there, either going to the old Building Committee site or going through a link through the new Fire Station Building Committee site. So there's a lot of information there. I mean, somebody could get buried for weeks looking at what's in there now. That's where people should start, to get a context of where the town has been already over the last 10 years, and then what's this committee doing in the present and in the upcoming months. I think that would be a great resource for people to visit.
Les wrote an amazing summary of all the work that was done.
That's posted too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if that's called out, so if you're a citizen and you want to see what's going on, if you read that, he only did it a couple of months ago, and it was basically by the year. It was amazing. Yeah, that's probably the quickest way. And then if you wanted to do more research, you'd know where to go, because it's done by the year.
And then based on Les's work over 10 years, then Mary Brolin, the chair of the Fire Station Building Committee, built a presentation to give to the committee to bring people up to speed with what's happened in the past. And that PowerPoint presentation is also on the Fire Station Building Committee website. And I think that's informative. It shows all the sites that have been visited. Some of them have been discounted, and some of them are still being evaluated.
Great. All right, cool. Lots of public education going on right now.
My second one is about the Sustainability Committee. They had someone from Mass DEP come and give the trash talk.
Yep.
And one of the important things that I took away from that is that, they said Massachusetts has a goal to reduce trash by 30% by 2030. They are not building any more landfills in Massachusetts, so they have to now ship it to other states or other places to send our trash out. Having said that, one of the things that they were looked at Boxborough and compared to other neighboring towns, and we have the highest per capita trash that we dispose.
Ouch.
Yes, we do 1,500 pounds a year per household.
Ouch.
And the neighboring town with the least one was 900 pounds. So
I have a question now.
almost-
Was
yeah.
that based on the number of households who have stickers, or based on the town?
Based on the households that have stickers.
Okay.
So that was, I'm coming to that. So what
Sorry.
they were saying was that we,
Sorry, I said-
most of the towns do have either pay per throw or by barrel, whatever the amount is. We don't have any restriction whatsoever. And we don't even charge for even white goods, right? Big ticket items. And only 36% of our town actually use the sticker and go to the dump. 64%, they don't. They actually have services that come and pick up. So what they were suggesting is it would be beneficial for us to think about curbside pickup with a certain amount in terms of for trash restrictions, in the sense you pay, certain amount will be within the base rate, and then if you want to throw white goods, or it'll be extra, which 65% of the town probably are already doing. If that is something that we want to do, we can explore. And Mass DEP has a technical grant program where they will help us identify how we can do that. So there is an option for us to go with curbside pickup as a town, because based upon
It's all being shipped out anyway.
Shipped out. And they said, if we don't work towards it, we will be ending up paying a lot more pretty soon, because the whole state doesn't have space. They're not building any more landfills. You would have to ship it out.
And
So
the incinerator is no longer in operation. We're not sending
That's
it.
for recycling. Wheelbarators is
Wheelbarator.
recycling.
Okay, so
So-
no more incinerator to make electricity?
Well,
That's what we used to do
not
with our trash.
So that's not trash, so Wheelbarator, I don't think they take our trash.
Okay, they used to. When I was
Oh.
the chair a million years ago, they did.
might
They took our trash because they had the incinerator.
Oh, I
Well-
thought that was for the recycling where they,
I'm not.
yeah, whatever.
No, wait, this is before you lived here, yeah.
Well, I know that we,
Or maybe you were just a kid. It was a long time ago.
So I think.
90s, we're talking in the 90s.
I think with that grant, if we come up with a plan, I think there are other grants that might be available and
Sure.
other options for the town.
Sure.
So I think this is something that it's not imminent, but it's pretty quickly coming because
Yeah.
it's only another 5-6 years. It's going to hit us really hard, because
Yeah.
if they have the goal to reduce it by 30%, and we are already almost double some of the other towns,
Yeah.
it's going to hit us really hard. in
I
terms
would
of-
argue part of it is education about what you should be recycling, because there's so many different bins,
Yeah.
you know, that, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I get lazy and I just don't bother.
Actually, we don't have that, because we have single stream recycling.
No, what I mean is like, there's the,
There's a metal bin and
metal
a-
bin, and there's the fabric bin. Fabric's heavy, you know, there's all the different things that you're not supposed to put into the
On the big
compactors.
bin, but just recycling alone.
Yeah.
You can throw out plastic, you can throw plastic, paper, or glass into one bin.
Right.
It's-
No, I meant about all the other stuff.
The open bin, the open
Yeah.
bin, the open bin.
And then I think the other thing is, I would be curious to compare us, and I'm not denying the data, but I want it to be true statistically. I would not be comparing us to pay-as-you-throw, because like, I know people that live in Littleton who take their trash to work because they don't want to buy the bag. So it's not that they're making less trash, is that they're taking it to their work dumpster. I actually know a lot of people that do that, including one of my employees. So, no, so I guess in fairness, they need to compare us to other towns that are not pay-as-you-throw, and then tell us, because I'm actually surprised, because I consider this town a very enlightened town. I'm surprised that we would be producing more trash than our neighboring towns. So I'd want to pull out.
I'm not sure if they will be able to give us that information. They
Right.
wouldn't even give in terms of like, I mean, they couldn't say which town
Right.
it is. They wouldn't like
Right.
divulge that information.
I guess
But,
I
like,
feel
even-
like there's a little bit of shaming going on. Do you know that you guys make twice as much trash as all of your neighbors? Shame on you. You should need to fix that.
But
So I
I'm
want to know if
just-
that's true.
and even if, like, my thing is, even if we, like, say, take away, like, if it's not 1,500, right? Or
Right.
if theirs is not 900.
yeah.
Even if theirs is 1,100.
Right.
Add 200 more pounds.
Yeah.
We are still way ahead. I
Yeah.
think that's where we need to start from. Yes, like,
I'm not saying we shouldn't be recycling more and reducing our footprint. So please know that I'm not saying that at all. I'm just being a little, sensitive about saying that we're more wasteful than other towns.
Well, the only.
for me, more than the wasteful part is like we will be paying more as the year goes on. I think that's where we need to keep
Focus
our
on the money. Okay.
On the
All right.
money,
Okay.
yes.
They're very sensitive. They're very sensitive. Nobody's
Yeah.
better than we are, damn it.
Right, and I think one of the things that, Priya said was, we're already I'm not gonna say it in words, not numbers, we're already high in the amount of waste we're doing with trash.
Yeah.
Yet, only a third of the residents are using that.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how high we would be on trash if 90% of the residents used it versus 30% of the residents?
Except that remember, at least a third of our residents have dumpsters because they live in communities. So it's also single family versus, so again, percentages and statistics can be used in a lot of different ways. So like every condominium has a dumpster, many dumpsters. So it's really 1,000 households are producing all this
I
trash.
wonder if we should just have Mass DEP apply for the grant. I guess the
Yeah.
grant is like right away,
Yeah.
and have them do a study. I'm not sure. Alec, I think.
Do you want?
Was it Alec or was it who's the assistant to Alec? I
The new guy.
the new.
Rafi.
I know, we have to get to know Rafi better.
But yeah, I think he was also present, so maybe he can give us a little bit more insight in terms of like what we can do as next steps. But it might be
Would you
something
like me
we
to add this to a future agenda
Mm-hmm.
item? And maybe bring in our DPW director, and he and I have worked on this a lot with sustainability, and also bring in somebody from planning, whether it's Rafi or Alec, and,
Mm-hmm.
have a focus on this topic.
Yeah, whoever has the knowledge, whether it be Rafi or Alec, we don't need both of them,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
or the other.
Yeah.
I also, again, following our path of public, education, maybe we need to be there on Saturdays passing out flyers on what you can throw away and what you should recycle. And, because I know I get lazy. Not gonna
Yeah, but
lie to you.
I'm thinking more in terms of how many people go through there that don't have a sticker on.
Well, they're actually getting really
Hello?
good about that. Bob's been working on that, and they
I've
have
saying that for
been.
what, in
processing
our announcements
stickers.
since August.
Yeah,
They
but
have to
but
get
I do
stickers.
agree with you. How many people don't have stickers?
You're right, I mean, because you can come in, you can go right around to the right-hand side,
And then
and you
that's-
can swing right around,
on
and you
that
empty out your
same
pickup.
Well, now everybody knows. Okay.
No, and in that same token that you mentioned, Kristen, like where people were bringing it to to their work.
Yeah.
Because we don't charge, maybe they're bringing it to their family here
True.
and having
Yeah.
it dumped over here. That's
Yeah.
probably happening too.
They
So,
Yeah.
are, I can tell you, that it is happening.
so
Yeah,
you know,
okay,
on the
yeah.
flip side, that's probably happening
We
as
probably
well.
need,
So, yeah.
we need, all right, so let's learn a little bit more, especially as we come into budget season, learn a little bit more.
And,
Do we
uh,
need to raise the sticker fees? Do we need to change things? Do we need to be pursuing?
We need
other-
to enforce the stickers.
Yeah.
You know,
We need to
and
enforce the stickers.
and lastly, I think that was Francie's last
Aw.
meeting, and she's moving. And I think this Saturday we have that trash talk.
Yeah, I saw the email.
And they, we'll
Aw.
probably have a little, we are invited, you guys, you saw the
Yeah.
invite, right? Like for her, I think
Oh, my
it's,
goodness.
yeah, I mean,
Alright.
between Francie and Hugh, they've done quite
So
a bit
much
for the town and
Yeah.
for so many years, so
Yeah. All right.
it'll be nice
End
for
of
us
an
to
era.
be present.
Wes?
I move to adjourn.
Second?
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, we adjourn at 9:07 PM.
Excellent, thank you.